I knew that I always wanted to be a nudist. I know that I had a lot of body image problems in my early 12 and 13-year-old, and bless my mother for not kicking me out because I was such a snot and really consumed with how I looked all the time. And then as I got older, my sister and brother-in-law, who I adore, I always felt there was something different about their date nights when they started to date, and they both had children, grown-ish children. So one day I finally just asked her, are you a nudist? What is going on every weekend? And finally, it was the end of a summer back in 2005. She said, I will bring you up on a Sunday afternoon to this wonderful, they kept saying resort. And I kept saying, what? And they said, bring your towel and your comfortable shoes and your sunscreen, and we're going to bring you someplace fun. So Sunday she drove me up here, and at that point you had to sign in and sign in who you were with, and felt a little secretive, like, what am I doing here? And then I started to meet people, and they were totally nude. I was totally dressed, and I felt like I had too much clothes on. So I shed my clothes that afternoon, and there was no looking back. I felt that I had shedded a lot of things. I'd become very vulnerable, very open, and I could tell I had that belly laugh, that real laugh you get when you've just let it all go at the gate. And ever since then, I've been coming up here to this beautiful place, just so that I can soak up the sunshine, be nude, and then be with like-minded people. I found as I'm growing up and at the stage of my life I am right now, because I have a business and I have a serious side that we all have to have, I need to belong to something, and something that really gives me joy. And as much as I'm a news junkie, I love to keep up on current affairs, because then when I'm talking to my clients, I know a little bit about everything. A lot of my clients do know I'm a nudist, a lot of them don't. But they've seen a change in me over the years, and I'm a little more laid back, and they're not really sure why I'm having so much fun. And it's because when you shed your clothes and you're here with like-minded people, and you feel like you belong in this fellowship, you just get this other energy, you get this whole other being about you. The body sizes that are up here, the attitudes that are up here. I don't even know people's last names, doesn't matter. I don't know what they do for a living, doesn't matter, because we're all here for that same reason, of being just naked and free, and for me a little vulnerable, because then I can trust other people. And up here at this beautiful place, Avatan, in Minnesota, which most people didn't even know existed, is 35 minutes from downtown, and I work in the city. I can escape for an evening and get my mojo back on in the middle of the week, jumping in the pool naked, which we have the most beautiful pool, and just relaxing, having dinner. I go back home and I finish my week, and I spend almost every weekend here throughout the summer. And we do functions, and we do volleyball, and we play bingo, and we do dances. And there's nothing better than 75 of your close friends dancing naked to whatever current song, to an old Beatles tune that we're all singing along to. And I'm single. I'm in my 50s. I have no children. I'm from a great big family, just the right amount of dysfunctional. And we kept it a secret for a while, and I use secret just because it was protecting other members of my family who are members up here of Avatan. But finally, the secret is out this last year. All of our family members know we're nudists, and they're curious. And they say things like, I don't think I could ever do that. And it's not about doing that. It's about feeling it. And I do like to belong to something, and so I feel like I belong to something up here. I don't have a lot in common with certain people, but they don't have a lot in common with what I'm doing right now. But the one thing we all have in common is we're here to enjoy each other, and no judging. And you can definitely feel that when you're here. So that's how I became a nudist.
Do you think it was a total cure for the body image stuff you had as a kid?
I think it gave me, because I don't think there's ever a cure. As you get older, you start tucking your chin and you want to sit up straight and you want to wear clothes that make your figure right. So I think it made me more empowering to be able to just be free and wear my cute little wraps or shed my wrap. And that, yes, it made my body image stronger. And yet I'm less worried about it, but yet I walk 3 miles a day. I try to be healthy. I enjoy my treats, so you got to keep active up here. We eat so good up here. We serve breakfast, we've served lunch. Eating is a social thing. And when somebody makes you a dish from the heart, it's a big deal. So yes, it has helped body image. Just total confidence.
And what are your favorite things to do here?
My favorite things to do here, other than the pool, because I'm part mermaid, is be in the pool. Also, my trailer. I have this lovely little Escape. It has a fairy house in front of it that came from a camp member. It has been on 5 different lots. It used to be a garden shed, then it was a junk shed. 3 weekends ago, all my girls in the back row painted it. It's this beautiful little fairy garden with a fairy house on it. So my trailer, doing all my little details and gardening and making it feel like a little escape, a little paradise, is one of my favorite things to do. And a bonfire up here is to kick butt. Bonfires is a big thing up here when weather permits. You don't need to have a fire pit yourself because you will be able to find a fire pit. We even have a big fire pit up front. So bonfires, awesome up here. And the sky is so gorgeous, laying in the hot tub, looking at the sky. And you might be sitting with people who have rented one of our trailers or one of the campsites that have never done this before. And they're sitting there in the hot tub and you're looking up at the sky and you're just chatting and, you know, feeling the groove of that night. You can't believe you're only 35 minutes away from the city.
So, I guess I've talked to people for whom this is more or less distant from their textile life. Where's it come for you? I mean, is this like a total throw all the switches that were down up and all the switches that were up down and change everything when you come here, or is it on a continuum? How's it going?
For me, it's a little more continuum because I can be nude at home all the time. When I was down in Florida on my vacation, we can swim nude in that pool. So being nude for me is a little easier than maybe somebody else in the textile world. So I do use this place up here to turn off the worries and turn off the things that are outside. I try not to watch news up here. I try not to engage in any of that because this is my happy place, my paradise, to rejuvenate my stuff for the world out there. I love what I do for a living. I enjoy people. I love to know that little bit about everything. So when I come up here, it is for me to really rejuvenate and get my energy back. Even if it's a rainy day up here, there's things to do inside your trailer, a nice movie or listen to some music. We've got a lot of readers up here, a lot of knitters up here. People do get together and play cards. It is quite interesting what you can do at a campground. We're just like any other textile campground also. We've got chores, we've got to all help and rake leaves and, you know, take care of trees and maintenance. But we're fortunate enough up here that we have caretakers like a campground would that really keep us nice and looking together. So it does feel like you're on a little vacation every weekend because you're not cleaning the bathrooms, you're on a little mini vacation.
Can you say something about like the quality of conversations and the quality of relationships here?
Absolutely. Just a year and a half ago, I was going through a terrible time at my business. I had bought a business 10 years, worked like a dog to get it going. And the economy and everything that was happening, I didn't know what to do. And it was my blood, sweat, and tears. So there's business owners up here, and we have this walkabout we call, and the street gets shut off, and we all bring hors d'oeuvres and food and chat. I got more input from these people who had owned businesses that maybe had to close their businesses or downsize their business. They gave me ideas that I would have never thought about in my business world. There are people up here that have gone through grief, I lost my parents and my sister recently lost my brother. And the fellowship that you get up here, because that's life. Life throws those things at you. So there's people at different stages of their life up here. So I can talk to somebody. We have a young family up here with 2 daughters. It's so much fun to talk to them what they've done all day, and then their kids get to come up here and swim in the pool, and that they're in that late 30, early 40 something age group, because a lot of nudists are. They say nudism is like 25 to 80. But the average group that are actually a member or a fellowship with a nudist place, I was reading today, was something like 35 to 65. And I kind of felt that was kind of interesting. Part of it, I think, is if you have an income to be able to have a place or just go to a place, because wherever geographically you live, I mean, if you're in Florida, you just go to a nude beach that's free, or California that it's free. Here in Minnesota, we have 2 establishments that you can be totally nude and live nude. So I have had conversations with other people who, their hopes of when they retire or when they're done working that full-time career, to really live in a place that they're always nude. I would love to spend maybe the last 7 or 8 years of my working career working at a resort or something that is a nude full-service thing. So I've gotten everything from people helping me with my business to helping me with my grief, to giving me that telling me their life. Because when somebody tells me something about them, it kind of puts it back in perspective of you, of how precious life is. Live in the moment. You enjoy that day when you wake up and you step out of your trailer. It's like one more beautiful day in paradise, and just live that moment, because it'll be snatched from you in a minute. And I don't want to go down as saying, oh, she worked so hard, she never had any fun. When I'm having fun, but it's also spiritually nurturing me being up here. There are people that go to church every Sunday. There are people that there's certain routines that are very regimented people. We have everything from doctors to nurses. Got a lot of nurses up here. And people who are carpenters that can build things out of their mind. So I've learned a little bit about every little bits that I need to know. And people are always willing to help you with something, which is always very nice.
So, have you done any evangelistic outreach to the clothed majority? Have you encouraged people to come here? How's that gone?
Yes. And that's so interesting, because I have a couple coming for 4th of July that this husband 10 years ago sent an article from the Rake with his wife to give to me. And that's 10 years ago. Now they're coming for their first time because now they're curious. They're almost empty nesters. They're 50-somethings. And their kids are graduating, almost ready to go off to college. And they're professional people. But they want something different, something that they'd never tried before. So they're going to come, and I suggested they come on a day when there's action here and things to do. People think we come up here and just lay around. And for me, that would be a waste of time. I only have 2 days off. You can come up here and you can get a massage. You can get lunch with friends. You can get breakfast with friends. You can get a haircut up here. You can join a book club reading people up here. They do winemaking up here. We do all these little Saturday night, either a dance or a potluck. You can work on your computer up here. We have Wi-Fi up here. So we don't come up here and just lay around. You can do other things while you're relaxing in the nude up here. It's a progression of offering services up here for something to do. People walk the track, the nice walkway we have. We have a dog park. You can go throw your ball. We have the leashes with dogs, but we have a little place you can let your pooch out and throw the ball and enjoy that little time in the little dog park. So yes, I encourage, I've got some people coming for the skinny dip, which I participated, this will be my third skinny dip of my nude career. I do play sand volleyball. I am not very good, I will repeat, I am not very good, but I'm a team player. And it's fun to join together and play a sport. I love tennis. I wish we had a tennis court up here. But I do encourage my friends, and I just sent out a couple of little notices about check out our new website, check out what's going on at Avatan. That they might just pick an afternoon and say, I just have to try it once. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you mentioned the word spirituality, which hasn't come up in other conversations. Well, I'm sure it's the reality is there for people. But since you mentioned the word, could you say a little bit about how this fits in with
Absolutely.
that for you?
I am a grateful recovering alcoholic of nearly 16 years. My sister, who knew I was a nudist, waited till I was 5, almost 6 years into my sobriety before she brought me up to Paradise, because she knew I was on a journey of being a 20-year career drinker, that I had to find my way and really be stable. And I'm not a religious person. However, I love going to other people's churches. I love finding out about religion. I love knowing different religions. My spirituality is full. That the journey I've been on in my recovery, once I got up here, shedding the clothes and shedding the attitude, nobody up here knew I was a recovering alcoholic. They just accepted me for who I am. In the textile world, being in the job that I have and people have known me so many years, they knew me in that time. And so my journey was to not tell everybody, oh, I'm going to be a good girl, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to screw up anymore, was just to prove it to them. And just to, instead of talking about it, you just do it. And you become a stronger, I like to be a good person. I like that feeling of doing good for other people and also putting healthy boundaries on me. And that's what this place does for me. It gives me a healthy boundary from all that outside stuff, because here I'm not judged for anything I've done in the past. It's a seasonal thing. You get that winter to kind of do other things, and then when you join in here for this beautiful spring, summer, and fall, it's gorgeous up here in fall. You kind of go through the change of seasons and you grow. So my spirituality has definitely been a beautiful journey up here. Sitting alone up here listening to the birds and being able to self-meditate and feel that wonderful energy up here of people that just want to be free of that judgment. And so my spirituality is definitely only enhanced. I would not know these people up here on the outside world had they not been nudists, or we haven't shared maybe breakfast together or a poolside chair, or I wouldn't associate with any of these people, for matter of fact. We have nothing else in common. But then you get yourself nude and you tell a little story about how you got here, and you're thinking, I love that person. Because we all got here in different ways. And that is the neatest connection that you can have with people up here.
Now, you mentioned your early issues with body image, and that raises for me a question maybe you'd be in a particularly good place to answer, which is how does an environment like this work for kids and teens?
Yeah, actually that is very interesting, and I asked a lot of the nudists up here when I came. When I came almost 10 years ago, there were a lot of children up here. There were a lot of families up here. There was this couple that actually had like 6 kids, and these kids were as natural nudists as you've ever seen. And I think his job took him around where they actually got to be in different states and be nude and things like that. And I always asked when they become teenagers, and 2 of my neighbors up here, they raised their kids as nudists, and once they were about ready to graduate from high school, disappeared. These teenagers, out of here. And then we had a couple graduation parties up here with kids that had been raised here as nudists. So there is that age group that you have to be kind of gentle with. And I think it's at age 12, as I said earlier, about being just a snotty 11. I was going through all my changes at 11 and 12. I had boobies. I had all these things going on, and I'm the baby of 7. And holy buckets, that was tough. So there has been these group of kids that are now graduated through college that now are surfacing, coming back. They have children of their own, and they're in their, let's say, early 30s now, or maybe late 20s. But there's definitely an age where they're not interested anymore, except for a few. There's a few young men that are here. They love to do chores around here. They love our events. They love when we do 4th of July, play volleyball. But some have hardcore new jobs, and they come when they can. And there's one family, and they're farmers, so you go on that schedule. But both their kids came when they were in like middle school and high school, and now the last one graduated last year. She's already a freshman at college, and the other one has already got a great job, getting married, starting a family. I also think it's the parents and the surroundings when you bring children here. You definitely cannot just bring a 12-year-old in here and just say, guess what, you can't go in the pool unless you're nude. There's got to be more to that. There's got to be a lifestyle before you bring a certain age group here or anywhere in a nude situation. I think because of body images and just how you feel about being nude around other people. I definitely practiced being nude at home. I used to practice. I'd get home from work or high school because they let me babysit and be alone early on. So I always practiced being nude. You know, how'd that feel? How'd that feel to sit around watching TV with nothing? Because clothes hug you. They give you that little compression. Sometimes you need that. So yes, definite age group of children in that mid-teen that if it isn't right, they shouldn't be here until they can make those decisions themselves.
Well, but now, I maybe we can press this for just a minute, so it might be helpful for some people. Let's suppose you get a family with kids, say 10, 12. Parents are kind of interested in this. They'd kind of like to check it out, kind of like to bring the family. Maybe it's the only way it's possible for them actually to come. How do you go about preparing your kids for this place?
I think for myself, as I've actually done with some of my nieces, because they are so curious about coming here and then bringing their children here, is I would come as a parent first, check it out, have my first visit here with just me and my spouse or whoever that is. And then I would actually have a talk with your kids. Maybe show them a website of what goes on at a campground like this. Are they campers? We are camping here as much as it's beautiful, and these different individual lots look like little mini homes. I definitely would have a conversation with them. I myself, and you know what, that's a really good question too. I would be nude as a family together first. You got to put that weird suspicion of perversion or weird suspicion of lifestyle, kind of thing, because there are lifestylers and there's nudists. So if you're going to bring children or families into a nude situation, I think you as a family I was just watching a piece about how you tell kids not to pick up a gun. And because, do you ask your kid if you're going to go play at your friend's house, do they have a gun in that house? Kids don't learn unless they actually can do it. So they practiced it and actually made the kids do the whole thing. And I'm that way. I'm a visual person. And I think that's why my sister brought me up the first day before everybody was here, so that I could actually do it once. So if you're going to bring a child, a 10 and a 12-year-old, or even a 9 and a 10, or 8 and 10, those are ages that you have to do it with them. Show it that it's not scary. And if it is scary and you're putting it off that it's scary, maybe you're not ready to bring your whole family into it yet. And there are families that would love to use a facility like this as a family, that they could afford to bring their families here. It's affordable to be here. But how do you approach that? And I definitely would do it as a family and actually practice it. Have dinner nude one day. See how the kids feel about seeing dad nude. It depends on how are you playing that as yourself as being nude? Are you ashamed of how you look? As mom going, oh, I just don't look so good. Wait till you're 50.
Right. Well, and it's one last question. I mean, who should come here? What sort of person would you recommend this place to, or recommend checking it out to? I mean, who should take the 35-minute drive, take the risk, check it out?
I love that. That's a great question, and you put risk in there because some people's anonymity is really important. And I think that the person that would want to come out here is a person that wants to feel something that they've never felt before. A little scary. There's maybe a little anxiety as you work yourself up to it, because you're going to shed your clothing that maybe you're wearing that favorite color that makes you look good, or maybe you're wearing this certain outfit that hides all your flaws, that you are ready to put yourself out there, that person that's looking for that fun way of finding a side of them that maybe they haven't touched on. They say when you're afraid to do something, you're supposed to go do it. Well, I'm afraid of cliffs and things. I'm not looking to go look down a cliff here and there anytime soon, but I think that it's that person that wants to come to a place that they can just open up their souls, and even if they're not into that being free, it's that you're shedding any labels. You're shedding anything that gets in the way. Plus, you're doing things up here. You don't have to just sit. You can walk around the beautiful campground. You can sit by the pool. There's always a little something to go on. And it's about letting go and just saying, I'm done with that outside world. Let's go have a little fun. Let's laugh at myself. Let's just be free of all that anxiety. And that person can find that at a nudist place, whether it's here or a nude beach when you're on vacation. It's undescribable what it feels like when you just take your clothes off and you're sitting having conversation with other nude people, and it's as natural as anything you're doing, and laughing at yourself. There's no barriers, and it is so worth the drive.